Hello, this week I'm going to be talking about a little boy that I saw in clinical named Connor. The reason it had an impact on me is that as I sat and observed the little boy, he was very pleasant. It was obvious that he was extremely intelligent, and he talked a lot about coping mechanisms that he's learned to deal with his emotions and getting upset and angry and things like that. The reason he stood out to me is he has an ADHD diagnosis. He's not on a stimulant. He's on guanfacine, and actually a really relatively low dose, 1 milligram he takes in the morning. And he actually sat there and talked to us about the mechanism of action and how it works. And I guess it just kind of reinforced for me the idea that it's really important that kids get, if at all possible, in with a neuropsychologist before they are given a diagnosis of ADHD. I'm not convinced just from that visit that was an accurate diagnosis for him. But again, it was not an initial eval. I didn't have time to go through all the questions that would be necessary to separate that out, but it is interesting in that it kind of correlates in what we've been discussing as far as separating out mood disorder and or depression from ADHD. But for him in particular, he had control over impulses so much that he was able to remove himself from situations that were likely to get him in trouble when other kids were antagonizing him. And he had the self-control, and he was a little, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say he was restless in the visit, but he did talk, and he talked a lot. But he was very intelligent. He liked to share a lot of the things that he was learning. And so for me, I'm not going to go so far as to say he was misdiagnosed, but it just really gave me pause to think that it is so important that we take the steps necessary initially to make sure that the direction we go is the right direction, and not necessarily give our kids or our patients a diagnosis that isn't appropriate for them or for what it is that they are experiencing. And I do hope that it stays with me in my role as a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and just the importance of that initial eval and taking steps, even if it takes a while, to get into neuropsych or further testing to make sure that those initial diagnoses, even though we know that they're fluid, they're somewhat subjective, and they may change. I just hate to diagnose someone right off the bat with something that we just don't have enough evidence for. Thank you.